And on the way to Bethlehem, we were still standing there in this embrace. And she tried to give me one more time to go. I was sure, by the way that she was talking, that if I let her go alone, she would die on the road to Bethlehem. She would never get home. So right there, I pledged my love, my loyalty to her. I said, don't tell me anymore to leave you and go home. I will go where you go. And I will live where you live. Your people will become my people. And your God will be my God. I will never leave your side from this day on. I will make my home only where you are. In fact, when you die, I'm going to die right there beside you. And even when they bury us, we'll be buried side by side. Not even death can tear me from your side. And may Yahweh punish me severely if I ever break this promise. Naomi did not know what to say to that. She wasn't happy with me, though. I just disobeyed her, and I had invoked the name of her God, the Israelite God, who she had just said was angry with her. But, for whatever reason, she didn't argue anymore. She just turned around and started walking. Have you ever been on a journey with your parents where they were so angry with you that they didn't speak the whole trip? And the tension just grew for hours without end? Have you ever had that experience? No? Does anybody here ever have that experience? All right. Well, think about how you felt then. Naomi and I walked alone for several days like that. Didn't say a word. When we finally made it through Bethlehem's gates, all of the women in the town, because the men were on the field, you see, so only women were in town. All of the women in the town, they were staring at us. And they were whispering to each other. And they were saying, they were whispering to each other about who we were and where we come from. And some of them had these quizzical looks on their faces. And finally, one lady came right up to us, and she asked Naomi, she goes, Naomi, is that you? Sorrow and depression and hard times, they had aged her so much that these women, who had been her closest friends, barely recognized her. Once the ice was broken, all women just swarmed on us like flies and kept asking question after question after question. And finally, Naomi, she just had enough. And she yelled at me, she said, "Don't call me Naomi anymore!" Nothing about my life is pleasant at all. I'm not pleasant, my life isn't pleasant. The Lord has turned on me and has made me bitter. So call me Mara if you must call me something. How can you call me Naomi when I have lost everything? I came away from Bethlehem full with everything. I had wealth, I had family, and I came back with nothing. Don't call me Naomi. This outburst tore me apart. How could she say she had nothing? She had me. I mean, she spoke about me to these women as if I wasn't even there. And the women, they didn't address me either. In fact, I heard them whispering to themselves. They said, "Is that Naomi's slave?" I wanted to shout or like slap her across the face and say, "Naomi, I'm your daughter-in-law. I love you, and I'm right here."
Wake.
At least, I mean, didn't she even know that I felt her pain? I lost my husband too, and I left all security I had back in Moab. She came to Bethlehem and she was welcomed. She had friends. I came to Bethlehem with no one but her. I came into Bethlehem to live among strangers. Strangers who didn't care about me. And they probably wouldn't even notice if I healed or did. I would be shunned by everyone, and it seemed like even my mother-in-law was ignoring me. So, right there, silently said a prayer. Said, "Yahweh, if you exist, and if you are powerful, and if you care, prove it and provide for us in Bethlehem." Well, we found a place to stay, and as soon as Naomi was settled, I started thinking of a way to permanently provide for us. As a widow and a foreigner, I didn't have very many options. Anybody could be a prostitute, but that would cause more problems than it solved, and that would give a reason, a good reason even, for Naomi to hate me forever. I didn't have a whole lot of hope for finding an Israelite husband. And most of the men would probably even reject me as a slave because of my nationality. It kind of dawned on me then that the only realistic option I had was to work in the fields nearby along with the men. I mean, it would be long and hard work, might not even be possible. But if I could do it, at least it would be an honest living, and it might put food on our table. So I went to Naomi, and I told her my plan. And she unenthusiastically replied, "Yeah, go ahead, do whatever you want, daughter." least she wasn't objecting. So I went to find work. The first field I came to happened to be the field of a man named Boaz. Boaz was a rich and important man in the community. Everyone liked him. And I noticed that he had always blessed his workers with a blessing from Yahweh anytime he greeted them or left. So he seemed like a nice guy. So I went up to his manager and I asked if I could work behind the men with the other women, picking up any grain that was left behind. And he said yes. So I started working.